I just came back from my lovely Japan trip and I'm going to talk about my experiences taking the trains in Japan as well as how I'm going to compare it here in Singapore. The very first thing that I noticed about Japanese trains is that when you take the train, especially from someone who grew up in Singapore and I use the trains quite a lot, is that they are both very, very similar. So if you're used to taking the trains here in Singapore, they are very similar in Japan, but there's a bit of a differences. The very first thing about Japanese trains is getting into the trains. Japanese trains, they use this thing called the Suica card. It's similar to Singapore's EZ-Link card. And here is how it looks like, the Suica card. So the Suica card, how you can get this card is through the ticketing machines. There's multiple languages that you can pick. Of course, you can pick English. And you have to put in a deposit of 500 yen in order to get your free Suica card. You can get this at a train station, or if you just landed on Haneda or Narita Airport, I believe there is a welcome Suica card. It's pink in color. It's very cute. This acts very similar to Singapore's EZ-Link card. So I got my own EZ-Link card over here. It's actually SCDF, a gift when I finished my national service. It's very similar. It's like a top-up card. So this is the Suica card. But there is a big difference between Singapore's and Japan's payment system. So Japan uses mostly the Suica card only. And in Osaka, it was the Aiko card, this card here. But when I was in Tokyo, it was a Suica card. You can only use those cards, the Suica card or the Aiko card, but you can't use your PayWave. So in Singapore, as well as in cities like London, you can actually use your credit card as a way to pay for the train, but not in Japan. Japan, you have to use the Suica card. So that's a very big difference between Japan and Singapore. Alright, Singapore uses a very similar train payment system. You can actually go up to the ticket kiosk and buy your ticket from the kiosk, but I think they're phasing it out because you can actually use your credit cards, or like I said again, your EZ-Link cards to actually pay for the train. You don't really need to get the actual physical Suica card in Japan. You can actually get the Suica card in your iPhone. So it's only available for iPhone. I don't know why it's not available for Android. So my mom has an Android and she couldn't use the Suica card function. So you can actually top up on the go your Suica card on your iPhone. This is unlike Singapore. Singapore, you can actually use your credit card. So you can go to the gantry, use your iPhone or your credit card and just tap in, and you can use the Singapore's train or the bus. But no, not in Japan. Japan, you need to use the Aiko card or the Suica card. So that's one big difference. It is so easy to use both train networks, a payment system. Of course, you need to know. And here's the fun fact. If you are going back to your home country and then you have some leftover balance on your Suica card, you can actually go to the convenience shop and pay using your Suica card. You can't do that in Singapore. You can't use your EZ-Link card and pay. You used to do it, but now you can't really pay your EZ-Link card on the Singaporean convenience shop. But no, in Japan you can. That's one beauty about the Suica card in Japan. Second thing I find about Japanese train networks is that I think it's more famous for being punctual. It comes on time, almost always on time. Train drivers, they drive super fast. When I first took the Japanese trains as compared to my lovely Singapore trains, the first thing I experienced was, why is this train driver driving so quickly? So I can understand that Japan and Tokyo is much bigger than Singapore, and the distance between one train station to another train station is usually very long, and they have to meet the certain time periods. So the Japanese train drivers would speed run, they would race from one train station to the other train station, and half the time you're like moving up and down. Singapore trains are still very, very punctual, and as compared to many other countries that I've traveled, Singapore trains are still very, very excellent, very extensive. You can travel around the island using trains, public transport, and that's one thing I love about Singapore trains as well. So it's the same like Japan, but Japan is more train oriented. Everything revolves around trains. You can walk to a train station. You don't even need to take the bus or whatever. There's always a train station like everywhere. So that's the beauty of the train station in Japan. And I think this is more applicable to cities like Tokyo and Osaka, where you can use the train, solely on the train. Alright, the next thing I want to talk about is the rules. There are rules taking Japanese trains and Singapore trains. There are two different rules. So let's talk about Japan first. Okay, Japan, you can't talk on the train. It is so silent on the train. But you can eat on the train. Singapore, you can still talk on the train, but you cannot eat or drink on the train. In Japan, everybody is so quiet, you can't talk on the train. Usually those people that talk on the trains are, you can tell they are foreigners or tourists. So it's very obvious that they are not from Japan, but most Japanese people, they are so quiet on the train. But there's one thing that I noticed about Japan as compared to Singapore. The Japanese train networks are so hardcore. Like if you are in the big train stations like Shinjuku or Shibuya, it is so confusing to get around. I did share a story where I went to Osaka. I was trying to head back to Kansai Airport and we were lost. There was a lovely Japanese lady that showed us around and brought us all the way to the train station. So it is so easy to get lost in the train stations because they're so big. It does help where you can use Google Maps. Google Maps are very, very helpful, or you do your own research. Okay, another difference is that I find that Japanese trains, unlike in Singapore where each track, each line has their own trains, if you take each train is exactly the same. This is unlike Japan where the trains are actually different. They can share the same track, the same platform, but where the train is going and the destination is different, and it's important to listen to announcements. Luckily, it's always in Japanese and in English. And not only that, you can also look into Google. Google will tell you which train is going where and it'll give you your best recommendation. Alright, so one of the biggest things that you don't see in Singapore, but you have it in Japanese trains, is not only those regular trains you see in Tokyo and Osaka, but the legendary Shinkansen bullet train. These trains are super fast. Let's just say the trains in Tokyo and Osaka, they can only go up to maybe about 120 kilometers. But no, not the Shinkansen. The Shinkansen are super fast. It can go up to 300 kilometers per hour. So you can actually see these trains traveling from, let's just say, Tokyo to Osaka. That was actually the very first bullet train in the whole world. And me and my mom got the awesome opportunity to travel on the Shinkansen from Tokyo to Osaka. It's such a beautiful and amazing experience taking the Shinkansen trains. The trains are actually designed, if you can see the front of the train, it is designed, oh, it looks very weirdly designed like a duck, right? It's designed that way because when the train, the Shinkansen is going so fast that when it goes inside a tunnel and it goes out, the noise will be deafening in the previous Shinkansen designs. So they actually model the newer Shinkansen trains to be this duck-like structure that makes noise reduction when they exit out of tunnels possible. My mom was her first time taking a bullet train because there's not many bullet trains here in Southeast Asia. She thought, she was originally very scared to take those kind of trains until when she actually experienced it, she was like, oh, it's only 2 hours from Tokyo to Osaka, and she was amazed by the Shinkansen train. Again, it's also very similar to the trains in Europe. Europe also uses high-speed train. I think take the high-speed train from London to Paris. But I have to say the Shinkansen comes more frequently, and of course it's Japan. It always comes on time. So that was my takes and my thoughts about taking the Japanese train network as well as the Singaporean train network as well. Again, please remember to like and to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow this. I'm really passionate about YouTube. And thank you guys for watching. Bye bye.